Jared Polin, PhonosPhoto.com, and this is your Photo News Fix. First up, it looks like the Canon R5 has officially been discontinued. Now, Canon Rumors says this might not be reflected just yet by Canon USA, but as of now, other countries are calling it discontinued. Now, this does not mean that the camera will stop being sold or supported, as Canon has said that they will support the camera until at least 2030, which is so far away. And by far away, I mean it's only 4 years away, which makes me feel super old. Am I getting old?
You are.
It's no surprise that the R5 is reaching the end of its run, as it was released almost 6 years ago, and the R5 Mark II took its place less than 2. With that being said, it's still a viable camera and will be for years to come. In fact, I'm filming with one right now. The majority of the videos that we filmed in the last 5 years, they've been filmed with the R5, and we are slowly going to replace them with the R5 Mark II. Now, the R5 has had an amazing run, and it's my hope we end up with a bunch of them for Fund a Photographer. The reason is you can do a ton of damage with an R5. If you think I should give an old R5 away at some point to one of you guys, will you go ahead and hit that like button to show me that you're down for that? You know, like 5,000 likes, maybe I'll give one away one day. Next up, Nikon Rumors had shared some specs for a possible Nikon Z9 II. Now, they did go on to say that keep in mind that earlier leaks are usually not 100% accurate, so I wouldn't read into these specs too much. Now, they claim that it will have a new stacked 46 megapixel sensor that is 3.5 times faster than the Z9. And what I think they mean by 3 times faster is the readout speed of the sensor. It will have a new X-Speed processor, a low native ISO of 32 to deliver medium format like image quality, and I call BS on low of 32 because the more you extend low, the tougher it is to natively go higher. Now, continuing on, they are calling for a new AF system.
Oh shit.
With significantly improved tracking performance and focus accuracy. Why are you guys looking at me like that? Nah, I got nothing to say about Nikon AF. Now, the next spec is something that the Z9 still fails at to this day, which is shooting RAW at high frame rates. The rumor said it should get 60 frames per second full res RAW photos and 120 frames per second RAW, but in DX format. Now, that right there would be a nice addition. And in terms of video, it would add a lot of red tech, but we do need people to understand that these top-of-the-line cameras must focus on stills first and foremost, as that is the core customer, in my opinion. Now, most of this sounds relatively reasonable and possible, but will people not buy a Z9 II because they think a Z8 II would have the same exact specs, just for less? Maybe Nikon shot themselves in the foot with the Z8 having the same specs as the Z9. This fix is brought to you by ProGrade and their PG25 Pro dock. But before I get into that, we use ProGrade memory cards in all of our cameras for both stills and videos. We use everything from CF Express A and B to SD, micro SD, as well as ProGrade's blazingly fast SSDs. Now, on top of that, we only use ProGrade card readers for super fast transfer rates of our data. Now, on a quick side note, for the fastest transfer rates, make sure you're using ProGrade's included cables and not some cheap ass, slow ass cable that isn't capable of the speeds. Yeah, the cables really do matter. All right, back to the dock. If you're like me and you work off of a laptop, you know you're limited on inputs. Now, with ProGrade's PG25 dock, you're going to gain 3 Thunderbolt 5 ports, 1 Thunderbolt 5 140-watt charging port, 2 USB-C and 2 USB-A ports, 2.5 gig high-speed Ethernet port, and of course, comes with a certified Thunderbolt 5 cable. To save 15% on everything on ProGrade's website, like cards and this dock, click on the link down below in the description and be sure to use the code FRO at checkout. Oh, and one more thing before we go, ProGrade has been NASA approved to fly on the Artemis missions to the moon. Good enough for NASA, good enough for me. And finally, they were all fired. Last week, the Washington Post fired roughly a third of their workforce. That included 300 of 800 journalists in the newsroom, as well as all 8 staff photographers and 8 of 14 photo editors. The National Press Photographers Association had this to say about the layoffs. The Washington Post particularly has been an inspiration to countless photojournalists through its fearless and relentless coverage, both domestic and international. Their photojournalists and editors have swept the BOP, which I don't know what that means, and have regularly won Pulitzer Prizes over the decades. They are legends in our field. They also went on to say, and every time a photojournalist and picture editor is laid off in our profession, it is one less set of eyes to document a reality that often challenges official narratives. Now, I'm sure some of you out there think I'm about to go off and start screaming at someone, but there's a harsh reality at play here. Can legacy businesses like newspapers continue to operate like it's the old days where they were the only news game in town? Now, regardless of being owned by someone worth more than $225 billion, a business still needs to make money, or at the very least break even, to stay afloat. With that being said, do I think Bezos, who bought the Post in 2013, has hindered the paper's ability to thrive in the last few years? 100%. Do I think this is political? Yeah, I do think it's political. Do I feel bad for the photographers? I do, but hasn't the writing been on the wall for years for all of these publications? Look, I get it. The optics are terrible, and rightfully so, but I don't know what the solution is beyond starting your own thing and trying to thrive in that way. I know it's not easy to go out on your own and also get the credibility that has been built up over 80 plus years that the Washington Post was around. But this is a new world. We have to do what we can do to get out the information. And if that means starting your own thing, then that means taking a chance on yourself.
Take a chance.
And there you have it. That's your photo news fix this time around. Thank you very much for watching. Jared Polin, PhotoNewsPhoto.com. See ya.